Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Rich Meyer here. We will start today's Exodus training session right now. Thanks for joining us. This session should go about an hour. It might go a little longer. I don't think it'll go any less than an hour, so sit back, relax. You may want to take some notes. So we are going to cover some pretty exciting stuff and some new information as it pertains to some of the changes that are going to be taking place over the course of the next week or so. So with that being said, let's get to the most significant change, as it's going to have impact in a number of different areas, which is the new EVA platform. For those of you that are new, your timing couldn't be better getting started with Exodus. Things have been great. We've been seeing people from all walks of life achieve success with Exodus, many for the first time in this industry, meaning I'm seeing so many people that are even on our team that have tried making money with other programs in the past and have not been able to do so, and finally seeing those people break through with Exodus, and that's really exciting to me. As many of you, if not most of you know, I was on vacation for the past couple of weeks. Well, this is my first week back, and I've been under siege from the moment I started on Monday, but that's okay. That was to be anticipated and expected. So I've been really busy this week, but I did take a very nice vacation to Hawaii, and I want to thank all of you for leaving me alone while I was on my vacation. But while I was on my vacation, even though I didn't do any real work in terms of marketing or doing anything pertaining to Exodus, I did have a lot of time as I was lounging on the beach to ponder and reflect on how things have been going with Exodus and try to take a look from outside the box. Sometimes when you're in the heat of the battle, it's too difficult to see things objectively. So I tried to really take a step outside and take a look at things and be as open-minded as I could about it. And I was seeing, the success that Paul and I have achieved with the program, but not just the success that he and I have achieved with it, but that so many of you on this call that are achieving with it. And I started to really ponder on, what is the thing that maybe stops some people from still succeeding with Exodus, because not everyone, I wish I could say it's 100%, but not everyone is crushing it with Exodus, at least not yet. So, I'm always looking for that cutting edge, for that distinction, those things that can help me help others achieve success with this program. And as I was thinking about things over the course of my 2-week vacation, I came to the realization that there's a couple of key areas that if the people that are struggling can master a couple of key areas in the process, that they will no longer be struggling and they would achieve the success that the leaders are achieving. So my focus as a coach and trainer and the leader of this team, which happens to be the biggest team in the world of Exodus, is to fine-tune the training, hone in on those areas that I feel, based on my reflection and really analyzing things, those areas that I feel could be of the best value and give you guys the most to be able to achieve that breakthrough for those of you that have not yet achieved it. Because I'm here to tell you, making 2 sales a week, it's just not that tough, guys. I mean, I had 6 sales while I was in the gym this morning. So I was only in the gym for a few hours and 6 sales came in, right? So and that's not my best day. I'm not saying that to brag, but that's just what occurs. Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays are typically my sales days. Why? Because like you guys, I invite prospects to the Wednesday webinars, and I get a lot of sales coming in on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays from that Wednesday night webinar. And of course, sometimes sales come from unexpected locations. So passive sales came in that, these weren't even people that were on the webinar. They were just passed up from somebody that's already in my downline. So my focus over this training session and future training sessions is going to be on areas that I know can have the biggest impact on those of you that have not yet achieved their breakthrough, because I mean it when I say it in our webinars on Wednesday nights, and I mean it when I say it now. I don't want anyone left behind. There is no need for anyone to be left behind. This truly is, maybe for the first time for most of us, if not all of us, we finally have a program that we can sell with conviction, with passion, and with confidence that the people we get involved in the business can also succeed. And so you don't have to feel bad about getting people involved in Exodus, thinking that you're getting somebody in and they're not going to be able to duplicate and achieve success. If they follow the blueprint, if they stay plugged into us, and they just work the business, somewhat aggressively, not even real aggressively, just, work the business, they can, in fact, get to a measly 2 sales a week. And why do I keep honing in on 2 sales a week? because at 2 sales a week, folks, people are at six-figure income. That's usually enough income for most people to live a decent lifestyle in this country. And for many people that are on a fixed income, that's a huge number for them. And even for those of us that are not yet on a fixed income, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, it's pretty good money, man. It really is. It's really the kind of money that can put a big smile on most people's faces and have us stop stressing about paying our bills or paying our rent or, you know, taking a vacation here or there and not penny pinching and watching where every nickel goes. I mean, been there, done that earlier in my life. Haven't been there in many, many, many years, but I was once there, and it wasn't fun. Living paycheck to paycheck isn't fun. Struggling to make ends meet isn't fun. A lot easier and a lot more fun to make money. So my goal as your coach, trainer, and leader of Exitus and of this team is to help everybody achieve that breakthrough. So I hope you guys will take this business with the seriousness it deserves, because if you do, and you just accomplish just 2 measly sales a week, you're at 100 grand take home. That's the equivalent of about $150,000 salary position. So is it worth it to you to apply yourself and do whatever it takes to get that consistent 2 to 3 sales coming in per week? You better believe it. So now I want to get right into our training, and training that we're going to do today is going to focus on some of the changes that are coming, and of course we're going to key in on best practices for achieving those 2 to 3 sales week in and week out. So let's go first with over the EBA platform. Many of you are already familiar with what's coming, but for those of you that are not, and even if you are, it's not bad to go over it one more time, make sure we're all on the same page. The EBA platform and the accompanying lead packages are going to be available or launching according to Paul Stevenson. I was on EBA training yesterday with Paul, and his guess is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. And I take that and say that it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday of next week. Might even be Friday, just the way things are going. They're doing the best they can, but it's a lot of work. One of the things that's going to change, there's a lot of things that are going to change because of this new EBA platform. One of the things that's going to change is the product package is going to go to $12.99. As you all know, the price has been at $1,000. And at $1,000, I love the fact that that $1,000 price point is so much lower and less expensive than the other big ticket programs on the marketplace. Well, now it's going to be $12.99, so it's a little bit higher, but, and it's a big but, it's still way lower than all the other big ticket programs on the marketplace. And the price has gone up. There's a couple of reasons for that, or is going to go up. And the couple of reasons are real simply this. There's going to be more product added to the product package, so the Genesis product package, which already offers the best value in the industry, is going to be even better. There's going to be even more product available for all of us and for the people that we get involved in the business. But also, the price had to go up to accommodate the EVA. EVA stands for Exitus Virtual Assistant, because Paul Stevenson doesn't want to call them what they actually are, which is closers. I will. I'm not going to mince words. These EVAs, myself included, are closers. These are people that are good at selling. We enjoy the selling process, and we've proven ourselves in terms of our own personal sales with Exitus. Now, not everybody that's an EVA is to my standard in terms of selling, that's being honest with you guys, well, nor are approaching my level of productivity or the number of sales I do, but most of these people are over $10,000 a month on average in their own personal Exitus business. So you're going to have good EVAs working leads should you decide to go that route. Now, the reason these EVAs are going to be aggressively wanting to work your leads is because they're going to get paid $500 for every sale they make for you. And so for them to be able to make that $500, and for you folks, the members, to still be able to make a decent money per sale, the price had to go up. So the price has gone up to $12.99. We'll be up at $12.99. And so you'll make $500, excuse me, the EVA that makes a sale for you, should you decide to use the EVA platform, then those EVA that you're assigned EVA, because everybody's going to be assigned a specific EVA. If you're so fortunate as to have me as your EVA, you're going to make a fortune because I have a high closing ratio. But I think a lot of our EVAs are going to do a very good job closing the sales for you guys. So when the EVA makes a sale, you, the member, will get paid the entire $12.99. So you'll get paid the $12.99, and you will be expected to pay your EVA the $500 that they would have earned by making that sale for you. The EVA closes the sale. That person joins your team as if you had made the sale. and they still have to pass up their first sale to you. And you do not have to pay your EBA who made the sale the $500 on the passive sale, unless, of course, they made that passive sale for that person, which is unlikely going to be the case. So you're going to make good money by doing what? Making a phone call, ordering your lead package, having the lead package start generating the leads, have the leads go into the EBA. The EBA makes a sale, and you get paid $12.99. You take $500 of that $12.99, and you pay it to your virtual assistant. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to come into play because of this new platform that Paul is launching. Right now, as you all know, we have two video presentations, the Paul Stevenson one, and then the fiery one that has the deep voice of the guy that's talking about the details of Exitus. Well, those videos, which are currently in the form of presentation 1 and presentation 2, will no longer be two separate videos. Well, they're still going to be two separate videos, but they won't be two separate URLs. There won't be a need for you to get a domain name that's pointing to those video presentations if that's what you're doing right now. The videos are going to be right on the front of our replicated website. So our replicated website is going to see, you're going to see some changes. On the front end, what the consumer sees is going to have the videos, the actual presentations, videos are actually going to be on the front end of our replicated website. And on the back office, you're going to see, and you probably, if you've logged in today or in the last couple of days, you're probably already starting to see some changes. The most obvious change will be the addition of the new product package for Exitus, and of course, the new lead packages that are going to become available. Now, please note that the EBAs are only going to work the leads that are generated from the lead packages that you purchase. Having said that, there's a little bit of confusion, at least from my perspective, because Paul Stevenson last night said that the EBA can discuss with the person who they're working with. Let's say I'm your EBA. I'm just going to use Richard Haar as an example. Richard Haar is on this call. Let's say Richard Haar is fortunate enough to have me be his EBA, and Richard tells me that he's got a bunch of leads that are not just from the lead packages that he purchased, but from text marketing that he's done or some other leads that he's purchased. According to Paul Stevenson, if I want to, as an EBA, work something out with Richard and work all of his leads, then I can do so. So again, initially he was saying that the EBAs are only going to work the leads that come from the lead packages, but yesterday he kind of backtracked on that. So I need to get clarification from him to be sure. It would stand to reason to me that if I have a relationship with the people that I'm an EBA for Richard Haar, for example, I'm going to have a relationship with him. He's buying the lead packages. I want to close those leads for him because I make $500 per sale. And so it stands to reason that if Richard has other leads that he wants me to work, that I should be open to working those. And I think that Paul Stevenson has seen that, and he's going to allow it. But again, don't hold me to that because it's not absolutely positively for sure. Point being this, is once you do this, it's going to be on a month-to-month basis. You're not locked in forever. In other words, if you want what they're calling done-for-you marketing and selling, where you just hire, you just buy your lead package and you turn your leads over to an EBA. If you want to stop doing it, let's say you do that in the month of August, and in the month of September you decide you want to close your own sales. You still want to get your lead packages, but you want to close your own sales. You'll feel comfortable at that point in doing so, and you don't want to pay the EBAs $500 per sale that they make for you, then you can, in fact, stop doing that. And so, but it's going to be on a month-to-month basis. You're going to have to decide every month whether you want to do it for yourself or do it, through the done-for-you marketing platform, at least as it pertains to the lead packages. So I hope that's clear for everyone. Now, one final point before I move on. Because the price is going to go to $12.99, if any of you, and many of you probably do have some people that you're talking to that have attended the webinar or that have, watched your presentation or that have responded to one or more marketing campaigns that you've launched recently. I'm sure there's many of you on this call that have, a list of prospects that you're actively working. It might not be a bad idea for you to do a very aggressive either telemarketing campaign where you're actually calling these prospects up, follow with a text marketing campaign and an email campaign. Hit them all three ways to let them know the improvements, enhancements, and changes that are coming, but also to let them know that the price is going up, so that get them off their schneid, as it were, and get them to take action and make a slew of sales between now and the time that the price goes up. one final point on the price going up to $12.99. Mr. Stevenson is giving all of us the flexibility to reduce the price to $1,000 if we so desire. So I could tell you how I'm going to approach the price issue. The way I'm going to approach it is I'm going to start off at $12.99, and I'm going to hold the line at $12.99. If the person is giving me some price objection, I'm not immediately going to drop my drawers for $299. I'm still going to offer them other forms of payment, the PayPal credit in particular, so they can use PayPal credit to get me paid. I'm not just going to immediately, when somebody says that money's an issue, drop my drawers to $1,000. Having said that, I will take it on a case-by-case basis, and if somebody's right there on the fence, I might offer them the incentive. Make a decision, do so in the next 24 to 48 hours, and I'll allow give you a $299 discount and reduce the price from $12.99 to $1,000. So all of us have that flexibility and that latitude, if we so desire, to continually sell the program at $1,000 versus $12.99. The annual membership fee hasn't changed. It's $299. So now what I want to go to is I want to take you guys to two different profit calculators. The first one is the old one, and I'll wait for this to appear on your screen. This is the profit calculator that reflects $1,000 per sale. Let's see, you guys are now seeing it. And as you see, if you make one sale a week under the $1,000, you're at $51,600 take home. Really, the goal's got to be for all of you on this call is 2 to 3 sales a week minimum. Minimum 2 to 3 sales a week. At 2 sales, you're already over $100,000. Let me show you the new numbers. With the new profit calculator at $1,300, it shows that at 1 sale a week, you're now at $67. My guess is, since we're going to, there's going to be times we're going to discount it down to $1,000. There's going to be times we're going to sell it at $12.99. That 1 sale a week is $67,000 in the best case scenario. Every sale you make is going to be at $1,300. I know real world, and real world is many of you are going to drop that price to $1,000 the first time you get some price resistance, or you're going to do what I'm doing and offer some incentive for people to take action. So I'm figuring that if you do average 1 sale a week, you're probably going to be somewhere between the $67,000 a year and the $51,000 a year, somewhere in the middle. So probably right around $60,000 a year, $58,000, $59,000, $60,000 a year take home if you're only doing 1 sale. That's not where you guys want to be. You want to be at 2 sales, and at 2 sales for the $1,300 sale, you're at $134. Realistically speaking, you're probably going to end up around $110, $115, somewhere in that neighborhood if you're making 2 sales per week. Do you have to make both those sales yourself? Of course not. This is a duplicatable program. People are passing up. When I was in Hawaii, I had passive sales that made passive sales who made passive sales. I kid you not. So when you get going and you start making your sales and you start building your team, now these people start buying their lead packages and maybe using the EVA platform, and now they start making their sales. And now all of a sudden, those measly 2 sales a week seem pretty paltry. And really, it is. I'm here to tell you, this marketplace has been starved for a program like Exitus. This is a program that the average person can actually finally break through and make money with. You need to know that. And because of that, and with everything that we do as a team, there really isn't any reason why 3 to 5 sales per week can be had by everybody that's listening to my voice. I mean, I made 6 sales this morning in 3 hours when I was in the gym. And if you think I worked hard for those sales, you would be mistaken. Yeah, I talked to a few people, but I did my webinar, the same webinar that all of you have access to and that you can invite your people to on Wednesday night. And, some of these people that came in this morning, yes, they were from Wednesday's webinar, and a couple were pass-ups, and people that actually had been following me for a while now. And one person was somebody that I've been working for about a month. They didn't have the money. Took them about 3 to 4 weeks to get things together, but they kept getting emails from me. They kept getting invited to training sessions and webinars, and sure enough, a month later, after first contact, here they are coming in, getting ready to get started with Exitus because they were finally ready to do so. I would not have got that sale, by the way, if I got mad because they didn't buy from me initially, or if I had forgotten about them and ignored them and didn't do any follow-up marketing to them. Once you get somebody who opts in into your back office and becomes a prospect of yours, treat those people right, be respectful of them, but be aggressive in terms of your follow-up. Continually reach out to them, continually invite them to webinars or training sessions, and do whatever you can to keep your information in front of them and your name and Exitus in front of them, because you will get trailing sales. Okay, so one final point as I get off this profit calculator. You guys have access to this. I'll send you the new profit calculator, and I'll be uploading this new profit calculator now that the numbers are changing into our team folder. But visualization is a real seriously strong technique. So this clearer you can see yourself achieving these numbers and what these numbers will do for your life, what it will actually mean to your life by making $150,000, $200,000 in a year, then that might hopefully motivate you to take the action necessary to achieve those numbers. And they're not that large of numbers, guys. $1,000, if you're just going to sell it at $1,000, to make two $1,000 sales a week isn't that tough. There's plenty of people out there that are looking for this kind of an opportunity. The baby boomers are booming. You've heard me say it before, I'll say it again. The baby boomers are booming. Okay, I'm now going to go over the key selling points, and I know many, if not most of you, you're just chomping at the bit, waiting for the EBA platform to become available so that you can place your lead package order and just have the EBAs close your sales for you. I don't blame you. Most people don't like selling, they don't enjoy selling, they're not good at it, and they don't want to do it. And this is, by the way, the area where many people that's where a lot of people don't make their breakthrough. They get started with a program, including Exitus, and they rely on the automated system and hope that that automated system, those follow-up email campaigns, are going to take them to the promised land. Even with Exitus, folks, as good as their automated marketing system is and those follow-up emails are, it's not enough. Not if you want to make $150,000, $200,000 a year. It's not enough. Will you make sales here and there if you just get people to opt in and they start getting dripped on? Yeah, you'll have people come in and they'll buy from you, but it won't be consistent and it won't be the level of volume of sales that you probably want to achieve in your life and to make a big difference in your life. So trust me when I tell you that if you really want to do this business the right way, either you've got to do some talking to folks and building relationships with folks, or you got to let the EVAs do it. Don't just rely on the automated marketing system, because it's not enough. Unless you're really throwing a lot of money at your marketing and you got 200-300 people coming in every week to your opt-ins, and those 200-300 people are now starting to get dripped on week in and week out, the volume is not going to justify. I mean, you'll make good money for considering that you're not lifting a finger, because if you're just relying on the automated system, you're really not lifting a finger. You're marketing, and now you're relying on the automated system to make sales for you. Our methodology, what I have taught for years and what has always worked for me and works for the others that implement it, is you spend a little time building rapport with folks, developing a relationship, getting them into our webinars and or our training sessions, and then following up with them to collect a decision, answer questions, and collect a decision. You do that, 2-3 sales a week is not a big number. It's just not. So let's talk about the key selling points. Many of you already know what these are. You've heard me say them before, but they're worth repeating because these are really what I key in on when I'm talking to folks. Simplicity. We're not talking about a program that's complicated here, folks. One price, one product package. Not a tiered level, not some complicated matrix or compensation plan that you need a degree in mathematics to figure out. It's a simple business model. The compensation plan, it's a one-up. You pass up your first sale, you're qualified. At that point, everybody you bring in must pass up their first sale to you. Gains us leverage. Affordability. For a big-ticket program, it's not like these other programs out there that start at $2,000 and go as high as $20,000. But yeah, it's going to go to $12.99, but it's still more affordable than any other big-ticket program on the marketplace. The aforementioned automated marketing system. The fact that we do have everything inclusive when we get started. What do I mean by that? We have capture pages. We have a built-in lead management system. We have a back office that has all of our training and all of our products that can be downloaded. It's all inclusive. We have a great back office that's navigation and tab driven. And we have a plethora of marketing resources available to all of us. Now, most people get started with 1 or 2 marketing strategies at most when they're getting going. My guess is, as this EBA platform really takes hold, and we really see what the numbers are looking like, and I like all of you, are hoping for the best, and trying to curb my enthusiasm by saying that we have to see what the results are actually going to be before we put all of our eggs in that one basket. But I'm confident that the EBA platform is going to work really well, especially for those of you that work another job or may not have the time or desire to actually talk to folks and build relationships and follow up with your leads and get people to respond to you personally. So I think it's going to work real well, but we don't know for sure. We'll know in about 30 days. We'll have a better feel for how good these lead packages are and how many leads are actually being generated for the amount of money that we are spending for them. So I'll have a better feel for it. We all will, at least those of us that are using it. We'll have a better feel for it for 30 days from now. But my guess is that most people are going to gravitate towards that done-for-you marketing and selling. They're going to come in, and they're going to buy a lead package. They're going to let the leads go straight over to their EBA. The EBA is going to make the sale for them, and there isn't a person on this call that wouldn't be happy making 2 to 3 sales a week, where all you did to make that sale was put out a little bit of money for your lead package and make a 5-minute phone call to place your order for the lead package. So those are the key selling points of Exitus, but you want to go a little further when you're talking to your folks. And I say selling points, but really I don't want you guys doing any selling. You've heard me say this before. It's about consulting. Don't come across as a smooth-talking, fast-talking salesperson. Come across as a caring person that genuinely wants that person on the other end of that phone that you're talking with to understand what's involved with Exitus and understand our business model so they can make an informed decision. That's what our webinars do, and that's why you should be confident and enthusiastic about getting people driven into our webinars, because that's what we do. We share the business with our prospects. We tell them exactly what's up with Exitus, what the business entails, what comes with their business and their investment, what we do as a team to help them make sales, and let them make an informed decision. And that's similar to what you want to do. So here's the talking points that I use when I'm talking to folks, and many of you on this call are people that I brought into the business, right? And you know that this is exactly how I made my pitch to you. I didn't try to sell you. I did, but not by doing some fast-talking, smooth-talking salesmanship. I shared with you that Exitus is the most affordable big-ticket program on the market. I shared with you that our team is the top Exitus team in the world. And yeah, I probably threw in there that I'm the top salesman in the world. Now, you guys can't do that unless you pass me up, and you can. But you most certainly can say that you are part of the top team in the world, because you are. You can also say that the leadership of your team is strong, which it is, and it will support and train them, meaning the people you bring into the business, which we do. Here we are right now doing exactly that. And I also like to stress to folks that many of the people that are part of our team, part of my team, and people that are working the business are achieving great results, and many of them are doing so for the very first time in their lives. I can't begin to tell you how many of you that are on this call that are finally, seeing really good results, making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week with Exitus. There's a lot of you on this call that this is a new experience for you. This is, for many of you, a first-time occurrence, meaning that you've worked other programs and failed miserably, and now you're achieving results with Exitus. And so I like sharing that with folks because it's true and it's powerful and lets people feel that, and a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. Why? Because so many people out there have done the exact same thing that all of us have tried. Well, maybe not the leaders, but many of us have tried program after program after program just to keep coming up empty, right? Making a sale here or there, but not enough to pay the bills, let alone get ahead and thrive and start to put something away for the future. So it's happening here. It's actually happening with Exitus. And you have to come across with that conviction that we do have the top team in the world, and that we do support our team, and that we do train our team, and that they use the blueprint that we have in place, that they can, in fact, achieve success. They can duplicate. They might not do Rich Meyer or Paul Farman or Carlos Pena or Jason Joyner type of numbers. These are top people in the industry and top people in the Exitus business. But 2, 3, 4 sales a week, it's achievable. It's doable. They can do it. So can all of you. You might want to, especially once you get a little bit better handle on it, explain the EBA platform. Because again, most people fear that they won't be able to do this business. I can tell you, whether they verbalize it to you or not, the number one fear that most people have in getting started with this kind of a business is that they're not going to be able to sell it because they don't have confidence in their own selling skills. That's number one concern, followed closely by, well, where am I going to get my leads from? If I had to tell you the number one and number two objections, one day it could be there, where am I going to get the leads? The next day it could be, well, how am I going to close the leads? We got that covered, right? The lead packages are there. The EVAs are there. They get started, they get their business set up, and most people get their business set up in 15 minutes. Call it a half hour. They get their business set up. Now they purchase a lead package, let the EVAs make the sales for them. Again, there's not a person on this call that wouldn't be happy making $2,000, $3,000 a week. I'm rounding it up from 800 with you're not doing anything other than paying for the marketing and letting the EVAs make the sales for you. And again, you want to stress that our members don't do any selling because that's the thing that most people don't want to do. All right, let me get over here. One final point, and I'll move off to something else. You might also want to, I don't have it here in our key selling strategy, but I probably should have it. You want to kind of talk to folks about the fact that our leadership does do those Wednesday webinars, and that they're going to be able to invite their prospects to our Wednesday webinars. So between the Wednesday webinars and the EVA platform and the simplicity and affordability of Exitus, there's your canned presentation. There in a nutshell, if I were to summarize it, there it is. The average person can make money with Exitus because, especially if they're part of our team, because our leadership will help them make sales through the webinars we do every week. Our leadership will provide additional training, just as we're doing right now, to make sure they understand exactly what to do to be successful with this business. Because we have EVAs and professional closers who will close the sales for them, and because we have lead packages that generate enough high-quality leads. Again, that's something to be determined, but that's my confidence level that I'm hoping that we're going to be able to say that with that kind of conviction. We won't know for sure for 30 days, but in general, you get the gist of it. We have a turnkey business model. It's simple. It's affordable. We have professional closers. We have a great team, the #1 team in the country. And Rich Meyer, you have a guy that's been in this industry for 12 years and that's been a coach and a mentor to the industry and has coached hundreds, if not thousands of people at this point to success in this industry. So there you have it. That's what you guys have in your arsenal. Those are the bullets you have to fire away to get people interested and excited about joining your team, because they're not just joining your team, they're joining our team, and that's what they're getting. All right, let me move on. There's a few more things I want to go over, and I think what I want to do actually is I want to bring up the script that the EVAs are going to be using. I want to show you guys the script. I'm going to make this script available to all of you because you want to use it in your own conversations that you're having, assuming that you're not going to use the EVAs, in case you're not going to use the EVAs, I should say. The script I'm about to show you is the script that Paul Stevenson has created. Well, I'm not sure if he personally created, but what he's made available to the EVAs. This is what the EVAs are going to be working off of. So it should show up on your screen in just a moment. I'll go through this real quick. Hi, is Walter there? Okay, hi Walter, this is Rich Meyer, and the reason I'm calling you today is that you recently responded to our recent marketing campaign, and you left us a voicemail message asking us to call you. Do you remember doing that? The answer, say, yeah, I did that. Okay, great. Well, before I go any further, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Is that okay with you? Great. So, Walter, what are you actually doing for work right now? And now this is key, folks. This is something I always have done. I always like asking people what they do for a living, what their background's been. I want to find out about that person. This is my time to build some rapport, to listen, so that I can actually start developing a relationship with this person. They might have a background that's similar to something I've done in the past. If they were a former mortgage broker or they're a real estate agent or a mortgage broker, I can relate to that because I was in the mortgage business for over 20 years. And so I let people tell me what they're doing for a living, what they've done. And I'll kind of, towards the end of them telling me what they've been doing, I ask them if they have, been doing anything online or if they've ever, done a home-based business. again, I'm trying to get a feel for my prospects and what their background is, what their experience has been, and what their level of expertise is, if any, in the world of online marketing. So, Walter, I guess you're looking to make a little more money, right? This is, again, after they've told me about what they're doing. And, I'll probably expand a little bit and have a little bit of a conversation about whatever line of work they've talked to me about. But once, they've done tell me what they've been doing, I'll ask them, they're looking to make a little extra money working from home. And, of course, most people are going to say, absolutely. So, and have you ever worked in an online business or a home-based business before? And then some people are going to say, yeah, and most people are going to say, well, I've tried, but I haven't really succeeded. I mean, we hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. Well, I've tried this business, I've tried that business, and it didn't go so well. Okay, great. All right. Well, let me ask you this, Walter. What's the figure, the dollar amount that would, that would make you really happy, put a big smile on your face every month if you were making how much extra per month? Now, for most people, they're going to tell you 3, 4, 5,000. Some people are going to say 10,000. Some people are going to be unrealistic and say 20,000 when they're making 2,000 bucks a month. But most people are going to say, I don't know, if I can make an extra, $2, $3, $4,000 a month, I'd be ecstatic. Okay, so what you're saying, Walter, is if we work together and with our systems, we helped you, show you a way to be able to make an additional, whatever they say, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 a month, that you would be happy. They're going to say, of course, yeah, that would make me ecstatic. Okay, great. Now, the next thing is, based on what you've told me, I believe that this business that I have to share with you is the perfect fit for you. So here's what I'd like to do, Walter. I'd like to send you an email, which will give you a link to our 3-minute presentation and website. This is going to quickly explain to you all about our company, our products, and how you can make some serious automated online income. Is that okay with you? They're going to say yes. What's your best email address, Walter? They give you their email address. Okay, Walter, thanks a lot for that. I'm going to go ahead and send you an email with the links that you need and all of my contact details. And by the way, when do you think you're going to be able to spare the 15 minutes or so to check out all the information I'm about to send you? They're going to probably tell you later today or tomorrow, or, and you want to, at that point, pin down the follow-up call. When are you going to get back to them? Okay, Walter, good. So you said you'll be able to watch this information a couple of hours from now. Is it okay if I give you a call later this afternoon, maybe in about 3 or 4 hours? If they tell you that they're going to look at it this evening and that maybe by tomorrow they'll be ready to have another discussion, then you just want to pin down the follow-up call because I've never tried to make a sale on the first call. The EBAs are not going to try to make a sale on the first call. They're not going to try to sell Exitus for you on that first call. They're going to follow this script, and they're going to get people to your replicated website, and they're going to get people to see your video presentation on your replicated website, and then they're going to follow up with them at the appointed time that the person says would be good for them to follow up with them. And at that second follow-up call is when they're going to attempt to make a sale. Now, there's one final part to this, and I'll go through this, and then I've got a couple more things to go over, and then we'll wrap things up for today. One final thing, Mr. or Walter, we've learned that there are typically 3 types of people who look at our business. There's the A type. These are people that have taken the time to look at all the information, love what they see, and would like to be making $5,000 a month or more, and are ready to get started immediately. Next, there's the B type. These are people that have taken the time to look at the information, love what they see, and would like to be making $5,000 a month, but they have a few questions and that they need answered before getting started. And finally, there are the C type. Now, these are individuals that are people that, for whatever reason, just don't see it, they don't get it, or perhaps the timing just isn't right for them, and it really doesn't matter, they're just not going to be joining us. So when I give you a call back, Walter, all I really need to know from you at that point is whether you're an A, B, or C type of person. And then we can take it from there. Sound good to you, Walter? Great. Well, Walter, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak to me. I'll make sure to get that email off to you so that you can get the information you need so that we can have another discussion about this wonderful opportunity I'm about to share with you. Sound good? Great. Thanks, Walter. Have a nice day. All right, so you always want to thank people and be courteous for taking the time. Now, I just ran through this, role-playing it with myself, obviously, and people are going to throw curveballs at you. They're going to ask you things right in the middle of your script or your presentation as, well, is this going to cost me any money, or how much is this going to cost me? So it's a little bit unrealistic when I'm doing it the way in the manner in which I just did it. you have to think a little bit on your feet, and when people start asking you questions, I turn it right back on them and I say, look, I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm going to make sure I answer all of your questions, but it's premature right now for me to answer some of these questions until I've had you look at the information. That's the purpose of the email I'm going to send you, Walter, is to make sure you get all the information that you need so we can have an intelligent conversation about the business. Sound good to you? So I don't answer questions until I've made sure they've watched the presentation. And that's how the EVAs are being trained. Those of you that are, there are a couple of you on here that were on the EVA training a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, where Paul Stevenson role-played this with me and a few others, and obviously I did really, really well, probably the best out of the lot. At least that's what I was told. And I'm good at this, and you guys know that, and I'm not saying that to brag. You might not be as smooth as I am, especially not at the beginning, but that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself and be the kind of person that actually cares about others and then wants to see people succeed. If you have that mindset that's not just about lining your own pocket, that as much as anything else is going to carry the day for you when you're talking to folks. If they feel that all you're there for is to try to make a sale and that all you care about is selling them, then your path is going to be a little bit more challenging to make that sale. If, on the other hand, you come across a sincere person that has a really good program that you want to share with people, that you're excited to share with people, that's making a lot of people on our team a lot of money, and you just want to share it with them, then your path towards making that sale is made much easier. A couple more things. I want to talk marketing budget here because this is obviously a key relationship between the number of people that you actually end up speaking with or that your EVAs end up speaking with and the amount of money you're spending on marketing. So what's the magic number? It's one of the questions I get asked most often is, how much should I be spending on marketing? That's a difficult question to answer because everybody's got different financial objectives. Now, if your goal is to make $2,000 a month, then your marketing budgets might be $100 for the entire month to make that $2,000, or maybe $200 to make that $2,000. A good rule of thumb is call it $100 to $150 for every sale that you want to make of Exitus. So if you want to make 10 Exitus sales, you should, in a month, you should budget between 10 and 15, $1,000 to $1,500 in marketing budget. I use 15 to 20% of gross sales as a good number for marketing. So if you're averaging $10,000 a month in income, you might want to set aside $1,500 for your marketing budget. In actual fact, $1,500 is going to create more than $10,000 in income for you once your passive sales start to occur. But that's a good number to stick your teeth into. If you're still building, you haven't got to that $10,000 a month level, let's say you're at that $5,000 a month level, maybe you want to use 20% to get to that $10,000 level quicker. So you guys have to decide for yourself what your financial goals are. 15 to 20% of gross sales is not a bad number. At the beginning, you might throw a little bit more money at your marketing as things start to build and develop, and your team gets larger, and the passive sales start occurring with a greater degree of consistency and frequency. Then you might be able to back down, probably will be able to back down your marketing budget because now the sales aren't just going to be coming from your own marketing efforts and your own efforts. They're going to also be coming from your downline and your passive sales. So initially you might throw a little bit more, especially as a percentage of the sale, in relationship with the percentage of the sale. But down the road, maybe 6 months into this, when you're at $15,000, $20,000 a month, you might only be spending 5 to 8% of your monthly income is going to be used for marketing because the rest is going to be coming from your passive sales. Folks, it's easier. It gets easier as you get through that first layer of 10 to 15 people. So for all of you that haven't yet got 10 or 15 people on your team yet, trust me when I tell you, it gets pretty interesting once you get to 10 or 15 people on your team, because not all of them are going to be superstars, but out of those 10 or 15, some are going to definitely, start really getting aggressive, making a lot of sales, and they're going to pass up those sales to you, and the people they bring in are going to pass up sales to you, and leverage, becomes a pretty nice thing. So the first month is obviously the biggest challenge to get going. My goal for everybody that I coach is $3,000 to $5,000 in the first month. That's why I try to get everybody that I coach to do is $3,000 to $5,000 in their very first month, because I know if they do that, that they're on their way. By the second month, the goal should be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. By the third month, don't think that $10,000 is out of reach. It is not. $10,000 is within reach. Now, some people will get there sooner than 3 months. especially if you're somebody that has a list that has, or been involved in the business before and maybe have a list or have sold other products and have some form of a base of people that you've worked with or associates or that have bought from you in the past, then of course getting to 10,000 in the month might happen in your first 2 weeks, let alone in your first month. But for the average person that has no list and is just getting started from scratch, 3,000 to 5,000 the first month is a good objective. Second month, 5,000 to 8,000, and by the third month, the goal's got to be 10. It's not that much. 2 to 3 sales a week, guys. If it takes you 8 hours a day, and I know some of you don't want to work that hard, and that's an individual choice. But for me, if you guys are in a position where you can afford to spend the 6 to 8 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, is it worth it to you to put that kind of effort, put forth that kind of effort to make 100, 150,000? I don't know. I can't answer that for anyone. That's something that's a personal decision for each of you. One final thing that I want to go over, and then I'm going to bring the session to an end because we're right near, well, I got 10 more minutes. I don't like going more than an hour because I know I start losing attention span. There's one more thing I wanted to show you guys, and when I get to it, here it is. Okay, you guys all have this spreadsheet available in our team folder, the spreadsheet I'm about to bring up on your screen. Okay, as you all know, you all have these different capture pages. Most of you are aware that if you're doing a text marketing campaign, that you have to use the SMS capture page. Why? Because the other capture pages require a double opt-in. So when somebody has to do a double opt-in, if you're doing a text marketing campaign, that's not going to work. People are getting text messages when you're doing a text marketing campaign. They're not going to go from that text to an inbox and an email to do a secondary opt-in so they can get the information and get right to your presentation. So the SMS capture page needs to be used if you're going to be doing a text marketing campaign. So right now, if you have your capture page set to the smartphone or to Lamborghini or the bread or the dollar, and you decide you're going to do a SMS campaign, make sure you switch your lead capture page to the SMS because the SMS capture page does not require that second opt-in. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about on this particular spreadsheet, you'll see in the green shaded area, it says automated presentation 1, automated presentation 2. Those are going to go bye-bye, baby. They won't even be in your back office anymore because they're not going to have a separate URL. They're going to be embedded, as I mentioned at the beginning of this training session, they're going to actually be embedded into your replicated website. And of course, you all should know, maybe with the exception of those of you that are brand new, our Wednesday webinars, to get people invited to our Wednesday webinars, the domain name is to register, for people to register is earn1kdaily.us, earn1kdaily.us. So in terms of domain names, whereas in the past we've had people get 3 domain names typically, one for their capture page, whichever capture page they're choosing, because they can only swap it from one to the other as often as you want. We've had people get a second domain name for their replicated website, and oftentimes I've recommended people to get a third domain name for one of the video presentations. Well, that's no longer going to be necessary. So when you bring your people in, they're going to basically need 2 domain names. They're going to need one for the replicated website, and they're going to need one for their capture pages. Now, the other thing that the person can do is, let's say they get ilovemoney.com as their primary website. I'm just using that as an example. Let's say they get a ilovemoney.com, and they're using that for their replicated website. They can get something called a subdomain, which they don't even have to pay for, which is ilovemoney.com/SMS capture page. And then that would actually be the URL for their SMS capture page. So another way of doing a subdomain name without having to buy, other domain names. Most people spring the bucks for, especially now that they're only going to need 2, they can afford to buy 2 domain names, one for the replicated website and one for the lead capture page. Okay, is there anything else I feel is important? I'll tell you this. The people that succeed in this business on a large scale, again, this is a lot of what I was thinking about when I was in Hawaii. There's some similarities in character traits of the people that succeed on a large scale, and there's also some similarities in character traits for the people that don't. So I want to share them both sets so you can decide right now which set you want to be in, irrelevant of where you are right now. Here's the people that succeed. They don't pass off the responsibility for the success to anyone else. They take personal responsibility for the results they're achieving. They tend to be alpha individuals, meaning they tend to be the kind of person that doesn't sit back and wait for things to happen. They actually make things happen. They typically are goal setters. They typically will be stubborn individuals. I'm the most stubborn person you'll ever meet, and I refuse to fail on anything I do, and that stubbornness has carried me well in life. Not in all areas, my wife will tell you, but definitely in terms of business, because when I come across something that's a challenge, you know, people say the word problem. I don't have problems. I have challenges and obstacles that I have to overcome. So people that are successful, whether it's online marketing or any other form of business, tend to have the kind of personality that, you know, if it's to be, it's up to me. They take personal responsibility, and they stay after it, and they stay focused, and they keep getting better, and they keep making little improvements, and they stay focused until they're achieving the results that they're, and they have well-defined results that they're hoping to achieve. They have the goals. They have them written. They're focused on what they want to accomplish. Let's contrast that with the people that don't achieve success. They tend to go where the wind blows them. They don't have goals. They definitely don't have goals in writing. They blame everybody else for their lack of success. They don't take personal responsibility. They tend to be all over the place. They tend to be poor organizers, poor time managers, and sometimes it's not even their fault. There's times that there's one thing that a lot of people fall into this trap. Not really a trap. That's probably misspoken. When people are working another job, let's get real. It's tough. If you're working a full-time job, it's tough to allocate enough time in the day to work a full-time job, go to work, and most people have to commute a half hour to an hour to get to work, to be able to come home and still have energy and the desire to get on the phone and make those calls or launch that marketing campaign to work this business. That's why when people are working full-time jobs, for oftentimes it's just hard for them to transition into a home-based business and make any real success of that home-based business. People like me that have already, we don't work for anybody else. This is all I do for a living. It's easier for us. We don't answer to anybody else. We don't have my commutes from my bedroom to my home office, which is about 8 feet away, or to my smartphone or my tablet if I want to work on the beach or at the gym, as I was this morning. The point being this, is sometimes people just, it's not their fault. They have so many plates in the air. They have kids. They have maybe elderly parents they're caring for, and those people aren't lazy, but they do have challenges in managing their time and allocating enough time to be able to make their home-based business work, including Exitus. For those of you that might fall into that category, I would say this: establish a routine that gets you at least doing enough activity to generate at least one sale a week, because one sale a week is going to be 50 grand a year for you guys take home, and that might be enough for you guys to break away from your full-time gig. 2 sales for most of you, if not all of you, will definitely be enough for most people that are on this call to be able to fire their boss. And to get to 2 sales a week, it's just not that tough, folks. And I'm telling you, if you're just going to use the EBAs, then let the EBAs make the sales for you. Now you're not even spending any time. You're buying your lead packages. You're letting the EBAs do the work for you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up for questions. That's all I have for today. Let me go to my questions bar. And first question. Hi, Christina. Please talk about the $97 a month or $79 a month with the campaigns. I'm not in a position to do so because I'm not as well informed about that. I actually had one of our people tell me about those. I wasn't aware because I missed the meeting last week where he brought that out, meaning Paul Stevenson. I know that there is a monthly fee, and I know that the numbers you just gave are the ones that I've heard, $97 a month and $79 a month for the 2 different lead packages. And to my, it's there. I don't like it, but I'll live with it. It's the cost of doing business. I personally would have preferred, between you, me, and the fence post, that he just would have added the $97 or the $79 to the cost of the packages and not call it a monthly fee. But that's how he chose to do it. So it is what it is. Does it matter if you're making 2 or 3 sales a week when you're just doing nothing but picking up the phone and placing your order for your lead package? I don't think it does, or it shouldn't. This is a really good question that just came in. Can we write off the commission we send to the EBA? Absolutely. It is the cost of doing business. And if you, and that's a good question, because some of these EBAs are going to be making more than $6,000, and if you're paying somebody more than $6,000, then technically you should be getting their Social Security number and issuing them a 1099. That's a really darn good question. I'm going to raise that issue with Paul, because I know myself as an EBA, I will definitely be making more than $6,000. And so that's a really damn good question. So I'm going to find, but yes, you can write it off for sure. It's a cost, it's a cost of sale. Does the EBAs follow up with all your leads calls if you tell them to? Their job is going to be the leads are going to come into you and to them simultaneously through the 800 link account that you're going to have. And so the leads are going to come into you and to your EBA. And the EBA's job is going to be to follow up with those leads, follow the script I went over earlier in this training, get those people over to your replicated website so they can see the video presentation and follow up with them to make the sale. That's their job. Next question. Do we have access to the EBA scripts for ourselves? I'm going to ask Paul if I can send it out to all you guys. My guess is the answer to that question is yes. Next question. I made 2 sales from your webinar last night. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Yeah, I know. There was a few of you that had multiple sales happen from the webinar last night. Congratulations. What are the monthly lead costs in the EVA for how many leads? Can't answer that question. It's not going to be based on a lead count. It's going to be based on a lead package. I don't want to talk and make answers to questions that I just don't have the answers to yet. We'll know what the lead packages look like by this time next week, or even by Tuesday. Yeah, my understanding is that we're going to pay the EBA $500 for that sale that they made for us. Now that person that they got for us has to pass up their first sale to us, and we're not having to pay that EBA for that pass-up sale. Okay, I just answered that question. Are we able still to utilize Paul Stevenson to close for 100% commissions before next week? Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say yes. I don't know. The honest answer to that question is I really don't know if Paul is going to even have the time to talk to any of your people. James, you happen to be part of my inner circle. I'm your coach, so you can use me, and I won't charge you a nickel to close your sale. My understanding, Dean, and I'll make sure I get clarification on this because it's so important. My understanding is that we pay the EBAs $500 when they make a sale for us, but that person they got for us has to pass up their first sale to us, and that pass-up sale, we are not required to pay that EBA that $500. They didn't make that sale. If the pass-up sale is being made to us from an EBA, then yeah. The EBAs only get paid on sales that they make. If they made the pass-up sale, then yeah. So let's say, Dean, you get Bob, and you paid the EBA $500 because she got you Bob. Now Bob buys a lead package, right? And Bob's first sale is because of an EBA making that sale. Then that EBA has to be paid that $500. So that's a good question. I'm going to get clarification on that from Paul Stevenson. I'm not trying to be evasive here, folks. I just don't want to answer questions that, just for the sake of giving you an answer. I don't want to give you any misinformation. My phone number is 530-276-7689. Any other questions? And of course, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to come back probably next week and the week after. I'm thinking that we're going to bump up these training sessions to once a week while we get through this transition period. Then I'll probably back it back off to once every 2 weeks. But for the next month or so, I'm probably going to do these training sessions once a week, just to make sure that we all get through this transition stage, without too much drama or head scratching, I should say. Okay, last call for questions. I have a question for all of you. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being this was the most pathetic, worst waste of time training you've ever had the displeasure of being on, and 10, this was an excellent, outstanding training session. I want your honest feedback on a scale of 1 to 10 where you rank today's training session. Oh, I'm getting 10s across the board, 20s, 10s. Wow, you guys love me, huh? I love you too, guys. All right, I'm glad. I wanted to make sure that I did a good job for all of you today. One more question just came in. It's a really good question, by the way, so I want to get back to it, all these 10. If we don't have you for our EVA, which there's a good chance you won't, but if we don't have you for our EVA, does the EVA follow up with all, I'm sorry, you guys see how these, I'm going to move this question bar out. 1 second, let me move this out. I got to move this thing out of here so I can see this better. Come on. There we go. Let me make it bigger. I'll get to your question, David. I promise. I'm just moving things around here so I can see the question better. Because the way I have it here just doesn't let me see it good. There it is. Make it bigger. Oh, I just learned something that's going to help me in the future. All right, let me go here. I'm getting to it, guys. This was a really good question. If we don't have you for our EVA, can we train the EVA to send our prospects to your Wednesday webinar? You can. The idea here is to have the EVAs make the sales for you, but if you tell the EVA, hey, you want to get people, you want them to get people to our webinar, you absolutely can. You're going to have a personal relationship with your assigned EVA. And so you're going to be able to, you're going to get to know this person. This person is going to be working for you. You guys will be working together as a team. So yes, you can definitely tell them to do that. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. I'm going to get to the bottom on this passive sales on the EVA. But again, we're going to table the passive sales. My guess is the EVAs are going to get paid for any sales they make, period. If they don't make a sale, they don't get paid. Stands to reason. All right, we're going to end it here. I want to thank you all for attending. Thanks for giving me a 10 rating. I hope you all enjoyed today's training session. I know I gave it my all, and we'll talk to you next week. We'll keep an eye out for emails. I'm back, folks, back in living color. For those of you who need to speak to me offline, 530-276-7689, 530-276-7689. Take care, God bless, and have a great evening.